It is not your fault. What do I mean by that? I mean that it is not your responsibility for how other people feel and what they're thinking. Now, that may be a hard thing to wrap your head around. Anybody who has had issues with being a people pleaser or understands that dynamic, you know you're always changing what you do or monitoring or adjusting or editing because you don't want to upset someone, or you don't want to hurt their feelings, or you don't want to disappoint them, you don't want to make them mad, all those kinds of things, or you think they want you to fill in the blank, so you do it because you think that's what they want. It is fundamentally not your responsibility how people feel or what they are thinking. And that may be a lot to wrap your head around, but that's okay. Just stay with me on this. So first of all, tell me down in the comments, what's one of the things that trips you up the most in this regard? Like maybe it's disappointing your spouse or pissing off your spouse, or disappointing somebody or pissing them off at work, or maybe it's not disappointing and pissing off. Maybe it's some other emotion, but you don't want to hurt your mother's feelings or hurt your kids' feelings or upset them or whatever it is. Tell me what is the biggest challenge for you in that, because I want to hear about it, and it'll help me as I prepare additional videos for everybody. So the principle here is that you are only responsible for what you think and feel, how you act, your body, yourself, okay? So if you think of it like a sandbox, you have a sandbox and it's all yours, and you get to put whatever sort of sand castles in there you want, or rake it clean, or, you know, have a moat around yours, or no moats, or, you know, unicorns, or whatever you want. Because how you think and feel, and how you take care of your body, what your body's doing, like that, those are the things that are your responsibility. What someone else is thinking and feeling, what they're doing with their body, is not your responsibility. So most of us have been conditioned to believe the exact opposite, whether it's through religious concepts or patriarchy. Either way, for men or women, what that is, it's that you have that conditioning that makes you feel responsible for other people and what they are experiencing in the world. It's great when you make them happy, right? But then we start editing or shutting down or feeling super guilty if we do something that upsets somebody they don't like, they're angry at us, that sort of thing. So here's the concept. You've got you in your sandbox, and everybody else is in their own, and they are responsible for what they're thinking and feeling. Here's a simple example. Let's say you have a spouse who is super frugal, and it drives you nuts. But you're very cautious about how you spend money because you know he doesn't like it. He's going to be upset if you buy something he considers frivolous. So you change how you behave, okay? Because you don't want him to feel upset with you, mad at you, whatever, because you've spent money he doesn't think was necessary. So it's not really about the other person, it's about how we are responding to them. So then you flip it around to yourself and you say, oh, I love to spend money, but it really pisses off my husband. Where somebody else's husband doesn't care how much money his wife spends. I mean, I'm being very gender old-fashioned here, but you know what I mean. So is it you spending money, or is it these husbands and how they respond to it? So this is why we can't get caught up in feeling responsible for how someone else feels, because how they feel is based on their own life experiences and their own values and their own beliefs, and they are not your fault. So the same is true for you. You could tell me no, let's say setting a boundary, because for people pleasers that's so hard. So I invite you, to a girls' night out, Thursday night, happy hour, whatever. You've had a tiring week and you don't really feel like going, but you don't want to disappoint me. Whatever you're thinking is going to be my response to you saying no to this invitation. So instead of saying no, which is what you want to do, that's what your sandbox is telling you. I'm tired. I've had too much going on this week. I need to stay home Thursday and just chill out. That's what your sandbox is telling you. Those are your thoughts and your feelings. But then this feeling pops up or thought pops up that says, ooh, I don't want to disappoint Brenda. I don't want her to be alone. I want her to have a good time. And you get all over here in my sandbox because my feelings are mine. They are only mine, and they are in my sandbox. So you can set your boundary and say, no, I don't want to go out Thursday night. I'm just going to stay home and chill. And I could be upset. I could be relieved, right? Like maybe I was caught in some sort of obligation. We haven't gotten together for a long time, and so I felt like I needed to ask, but I don't really feel like going either. Then I'm being in your sandbox because I'm thinking you want to do something, even though I don't want to, you know. And this is how so many of our relationships go. But once we can focus on our own thoughts and feelings and remember that those are the only ones that we are responsible for, then if you don't want to hang out with me Thursday night, you just say no. And if I'm disappointed, if I stay home all night and cry, that's on me. It's not your fault. It's not because of you. Now, you might have people like my ex in your life who will tell you it's your fault, who will say, oh, I had a terrible night Thursday night because you wouldn't go out with me. And then that's going to trigger that conditioned belief that you're supposed to be responsible for how other people feel. But that's another video. It's not true. Trust me on this. The healthiest relationships leave me to be responsible for my feelings and you get to be responsible for yours. That's the only way real trust is built between two people or even with yourself, is that you will honor what is true for you while I'm over here honoring what is true for me. And then you know I'm never going to say yes to you out of obligation, and I know you're not going to say yes to me out of obligation, so we trust each other. So let me know in the comments below if that makes sense. And if there's a particular relationship, like sometimes we can do this in some relationships, but not others, that is really a struggle for you to not feel responsible for how they are feeling or what they're thinking. And if it's everybody across the board, let me know that too. And let me know if you can at least imagine that what I'm saying is true, that actually you're only responsible for you. And I will see you in the next video.